is a little chilly. We got fooled by Mother Nature once again, where we had 80s, almost 90s within the last couple weeks. Now it is 44 degrees right now. It's a high of 50s. And for the next 2 nights, we have a possible freeze warning. So what does that entail? Well, it's getting towards almost the beginning of May. Everybody's anxious about getting some veggies in the ground. We've got veggies in the ground. I've had high tunnel tomatoes in the ground now for almost 2 weeks. Yeah, I've got to put frost blankets on it. So we've got a lot to do today. We've got to let the girls out. We've got to make sure we'll walk through the big high tunnel and I'll show you what I've got going on in there and what's going to happen. We've got harvesting salad mix and spinach for tomorrow's farmer's market. So we've got a lot going on, so let's get started. All right, what we got going on, guys, is we do use a Premier One fencing like most of you use. So we are going to get the girls out. I can hear them clucking around in there. We have not really shown them a whole lot. I've been kind of a bad YouTuber. I've told you that in the past. I kind of get in my groove, get stuff done because it's got to get done. And so I don't usually film a lot of stuff, but we did get the girls moved out here. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen a couple posts that I put. We did get them moved out here. They are on the second full weeks, or the end of their second full week. So we're gonna let them out and you guys get to see them. Are you guys ready to get out? What are you doing, girls? You ready to get out? All right, come on. And what I usually do is I let them out every morning at the same time. We have all barred rocks. We have 2 hens. Well, we have all of these hens. I think we have 23 hens. They're all barred rocks. 2 of them, which you can see right there, that's Maybelline that just jumped on top of the shade. And then we have I'm sorry, not Maybelline, that is Pearl. We have another one named Maybelline that is the same color. As you can see, they're more white than the other barred rock girls. That one over there, the lighter colored one right there, that's Maybelline. And then the one over there that's white over there, that is Pearl. I think she's the one, the dominant one. That's Pearl right there, and that's Maybelline. I think she's the dominant one. What are you doing, sweetheart? I think she's the dominant one in this relationship. I think she's the one that runs the roost. But you can see they're pretty happy. So what I do the night before is I go ahead and fill their feed, and I fill their waterer inside. And then I fill this 3-gallon bucket full of water here. And I've got some holes drilled. This is just my pre-made watering system for outside. So I will go ahead and dump that, as you can see. And then that will go ahead. Let me grab the camera, and that will go ahead. That will go ahead and fill the homemade water system. You can see the girls are going to get ready to get something to drink. They are on top of the compost pile. I'm using these girls as 2 things this year. I'm using them, 1, as eggs for our local farmers market and ourselves, and I'm using them 2 to turn our compost pile here. And you want to be on camera, sweetie? Yep. And I'm using them here to turn our compost pile. So you see what I have done is I've got microgreens out here. You can see some sunflowers. This is my friend right here. She loves me. So I'm using them to kind of scrape up the compost pile, put a little bit of sweet grain in there to let them kind of dig through and kind of train these girls. The girls have been on compost for a week now. So they're doing really good. But anyway, it's enough about the girls right now. Let's walk through the tunnel and I'll show you what we got going on. All right, we're in the tunnel now. I got done with my harvesting. So we're going to walk through the big tunnel. Well, we're going to walk through all 3 tunnels and I'm going to show you what's up. So far in this big tunnel, we are 100% planted out. To start on this row here, we have 2 rows of French breakfast. We have 2 rows of Hostile Asian greens mix, which is a little spicy. Got some mustard, arugula, mizuna, stuff like that in. And then it looks like we've got 3 to 4 rows of Johnny's Wildfire, and I'm going to use this. We've got the little tunnels planted out, and that's what I'm harvesting currently now. And this is just going to be a second round coming in before it gets super, super hot, and then we have a hard time growing this. Underneath this shade cloth, I do have a bed of Salanova growing. I'm going to keep my Salanova to a small minimum. Last year we grew like 4 or 5 beds of it. It was too much. I couldn't sell it all. So I'm going to grow 1 bed of Salanova for the first cutting coming into May. I know I'm a little bit late here, guys. I got to stay with me. I'm a little bit late here. But we are going to bring our Salanova into May. And then in the little tunnel, after I pull that wildfire mix out, I'm going to put another bed of Salanova in it. And then that tunnel is going to be shaded by this one with some shade cloth. Keep it a little bit cooler. And then I am going to start putting some other products into this. We've got our row of Nokia cucumbers. Those are those Japanese style cucumbers. Japanese, they kind of look like an English style, which you guys are familiar with, the long skinny ones, about 12 to 16 inches long. They were a big hit at our market last year. We made pretty good money with it. So once again, we went with Nokia. This row right here is some snacking cucumbers. It's those 5 to 6 inch long cucumbers you always see bagged up. This is a variety called Merlin. And then in the last row here, we have some determinate tomatoes, Jolene. Thank you, Kim from Johnny C's, for recommending Jolene to us this year. We are growing our slicer tomatoes are going to be a bush style tomato, which is Jolene, and then the tried and true BHN 589s. You know how I love those tomatoes. So we've got another tunnel full of those, but I did have some left over. We have a lot of seeds, so what we did have left over, I went ahead and popped them in here because I didn't have nothing else to put in here. This tunnel, we have 5 50-foot beds of cherry tomatoes. Yes, there are 100 cherry tomatoes. Well, actually, there's more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 125 cherry tomatoes in this right here. I know what you're going to say right now. You're thinking, what in the heck is going on with your brain right now, Tracy? We sell a lot of, okay, let's back up. I don't call them cherry tomatoes. I will on this video so you guys know what I'm talking about. I call them snacking tomatoes. If you call them cherry tomatoes at our market, everybody thinks it's made for salad. They don't want to buy them. But if you call them a snacking tomato, they fly off the table. I know. It's just people the way they think. So we do have a new variety called Bliss. That's from Johnny Seeds. We have some 4th of July and another row of 4th of July. Those are from Burpee. My buddy Carl down at Paris Natural Farms. You guys, if you guys watched my video when I was down in Texas doing those garden tours, my buddy Carl grows 4th of July. I fell in love with those. They are a 4 to 6 ounce. I guess you want to call it a in between a snacking tomato and a baby slicer. I loved them, so I had to get some for myself. So I got some of that going, and then in that row right there, we have black cherry and sakura. Johnny's does not sell 4th of July. The closest thing they had was called Sakura, and I only got 3 plants to survive that whole tray. I had issues with germination. I got 3 to survive, so we're going to try that and see what those pop out to. And then the last row there, we got seeds from a local seed exchange there in Lawrence. They put one on the county, the Lawrence Farmers Market puts one on every year, I think with the county extension office also. You can bring seeds in, you set them on tables, people go through the seeds, pick what they want, it's all free. They have a lot of cool information there and some cool vendors there, but we did get 2 varieties, one called Dancing Ladies, which I am unfamiliar with, and then one called Rosella, which is from Baker Creek, which I am unfamiliar with. Pretty sure those are like a black to purple cherry. We do very well with colors. When you do farmers markets, you guys will find out people love colors. Humans love coloring on the table. Any type of reds and bright greens and purples and yellows you can get on the table, it kind of draws people in like a bug to light. So we like to make our pint cherry tomatoes very, very colorful, and that gets a lot of people in. Cherry tomatoes, snacking tomatoes, that gets a lot of people in. You can see overhead here, I do have a cable and truss system now. You can see one of the trusses here, and then I have another truss there. That is the new trellising that we are doing in this high tunnel here. It's nothing new. I kind of copied this idea off of one of my partners. Just some 1/4 inch 7/19 twist aircraft cable. That's it. That's all it's going to be. And then we're going to put tomato hooks, roller hooks, or tomahawks. I haven't decided which one I'm going to go yet. And then you just kind of hang those on there, and then you do your lower and lean method, which you guys are probably pretty familiar with. If not, I'm going to walk you through that. Let's walk through the little tunnel here and see what we got going on in here. Oh. Okay. We've got our bed of Johnny's Wildfire Mix. We've got some romance carrots in the middle, and we've got some space spinach. Let me take you up close on some of this. Look at that spinach. Yeah, there's a little bit of weeds in there. Don't worry about it. As you guys do know, I do weed, but I weed while I harvest. So I may or may not get all of the weeds that I am looking at, but that's okay. I think a lot of people overly stress out. Let's look at the carrots. A lot of people overly stress out about weeds. They don't pull all the weeds, and then they try to do it all at one time after the weeds gets too big. They get stressed out. They get upset about it, and then they quit gardening. Well, there's the Johnny's Wildfire Mix. There is no sense to stress out over that kind of thing. It's just weeds. So what I do is when I'm out here and I'm watering or I'm harvesting, if I see a weed, I bend down, pick it up. If I see a weed and I don't pick it, that's fine. I will get it the next time I'm in here. I spend about 10 to 15 minutes per day weeding. That is it. That's how I keep my bed so clean. That's all I spend out here weeding. I don't spend hours and hours and hours out here backbreaking work trying to weed and then leave it all year and then complain about the weeds 3 months from now. If you go through when you have a little bit of time, if you have 15 or 20 minutes of time, like what I'll do is before I put the chickens up for the night, I'll come out here about 30 minutes early. I will come out here, me and my wife will come out here and just kind of talk about the day, how her day at work went, how a day on the farm went, exactly what we need to accomplish for the farmer's market coming up. We will just each hit a bed and just weed what we can. We put it into a bucket, we dump it in the chicken pen, the chickens eat it. That's all we do. And if you get all of them, great. If you don't get all of them, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's no sense in getting upset about something you can't control. You're not going to control the weeds. You can try. You're still going to get weeds. You're always going to get weeds. All right, let's check out the other tunnel. We have the new DIY tomato tunnel. What this is, basically, it's the same DIY tunnel you guys watched me build on the channel a couple years ago. The only difference is I took every other hoop out. So now we are 8-foot hoops here. And I took the baseboards off and I put 2x4x10 pressure treated lumber for the hip board. And then I put my channel locks exactly like a tunnel. We are not putting plastic on this tunnel. That is the difference. That's why I have spacing here and there are no end walls. What we are doing is we are putting the shade cloth over the top of this tunnel. And this is going to be 5 50-foot beds of slicer tomatoes under shade cloth. I have those 3 big maple trees. You guys have seen those full out in the last couple years. They predominantly shade this area about 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the afternoon until 9. This gets shaded. That 30% shade is going to be on this tunnel. And that is all we need to grow tomatoes and peppers or basil or anything we want to put in this tunnel. It works out great. The big tunnel and the small tunnel up there, I ordered 50% black shade cloth yesterday. So when that arrives, I will have that put on so that can keep that area a little bit shaded. You did notice I did have the hoops in the ground in there. Unfortunately, that 80-degree weather we've had for the past couple days, it's not going to hold. We have freeze warnings the next 3 days here in Northeast Kansas. So I've got to get I've got to get frost blankets put on that tonight and get the tunnels closed up early so that way we can predominantly keep all the heat into that tunnel so that way we can keep those tomatoes alive. What is that? Oh, it's a trash truck. So we can keep those tomatoes going for the next 3 days. And then next week, we're going to put the shade cloth on that and then get the field tomatoes planted in. So it's all of a game of checks and balances when you're on the farm or when you're growing for market. Check out my potatoes. Potatoes are looking good. So we've just got to take care of what we've got here. We've pretty much put everything. We've shown our hand this year. We pretty much threw the kitchen sink at everything. We spent a lot of money on upgraded systems for these tunnels, shade cloth for this tunnel, new watering systems. We still have an outside, a 30 by 100 outside growing bed outside that's going to have all of our peppers and everything in there going on in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So we will be showing you how we set those beds up, why we're doing it, what we are doing. But guys, I'm going to end the video here. This week, I've got a couple things I need to do before market in the morning. I will check you guys out next week. See you later. Bye. Oh, one thing before I get off here. If you guys see anything in the videos that we use, everything from this trellising system to seed starting equipment, seed starting trays, shade cloth, greenhouses, greenhouse plastic, anything like that, and you're saying, where do I get that stuff, Tracy? Check out the link below for my friends at Bootstrap Farmer. Let them know Tracy at Summer Pick Farm sent you. Thanks. Bye.